I wish humans could be more like dogs. If you think about it, all a dog really needs is a little love and a little happiness.
Want to really get into the nitty gritty of this podcast in this episode, which is first time dog owning, first time getting a pet. If you're thinking about getting a pet, question to you: what is something you think, just off the top of your head? What would you think? Would you would need as a first time pet owner? I know you know, but
Yeah, right off the top of my head, I would say if you're about to buy your first pet, you have to like evaluate yourself, like see the type of lifestyle that you live, the type of, if you are outdoor type person, you want to get a dog. Well, first of all, there are dogs that are more laid back. There are dogs that are high energy, so you have to take that into consideration. So I would, first time buying a dog, I would pick the right dog that fits my lifestyle and the type of things that I want to do. That's my first thought that comes to my mind. Second, you want a small dog or a big dog. You got to look at where you live, house or apartment. Dogs need exercise on a daily basis. Those are the first thing that come to my mind right now. I'm kind of having a brain fart, but
the main thing, the number one thing before you even get a pet, I would say, is think about the commitment it will take. That's a lot of things that people don't think about, whether it's a cat or a dog. When you're getting a pet, you have to think about, okay, if it's a puppy, that puppy has a long time with you, depending on the breed as well. So if you're getting one that's about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, or just young, really young puppy, that's at least, depending on the breed, majority of the time, an average of at least 15 years. Are you willing to commit 15 years to a pet? Are you willing to commit to a pet if they do get sick, or if they do things that you don't like?
or have blind or deaf or all these other issues. Yeah, yeah.
And that, I feel like that's something a lot of people do not think about when they're getting a pet.
They just see how cute they are. No, he's so fluffy, and the little kisses. No, that's an investment. Dogs, yeah, you have to take care of them like a child, raise them and teach them.
Like, people see people out jogging with their pets and think, "Oh, I want to jog with my dog," but like, are you really willing? Because it takes training to even get the pet to want to jog with you.
Absolutely, yeah. A dog just not gonna.
Just automatically just jog
Yeah,
perfectly
no,
with you.
no, yeah.
You have to train them, practice with them. Honestly, when you have a dog, it's an everyday thing, just like kids. When you have a child, a baby, every day is a learning experience. I mean, shoot, as an adult, every day is a learning experience. We're still learning things. So you have to think about that as a pet.
I'm glad you said that. So I wanted to say this. I heard this from another lady, but she said setting expectations for dogs is like setting goals for another human. So you figure how hard that is to get another human to set goals and plan for their life. And yeah, it's the same thing for a dog. Yeah, it takes time. Like you can't expect your dog to sit. You have to train them to sit. You can't expect your dog not to pull on the leash. You have to train them to not pull on the leash. You have to have some sort of patience. You can't just definitely can't let the dog do what he want to do, because if he do it at home, he gonna do it wherever he go. If he in boarding facility, the groomers go through hell trying to groom them dogs, get them to sit and not bite. You have to literally take the time to teach and train and play with your dogs. Like, give them attention. Don't just buy them so they can look cute. Actually, yeah, you have to take care of them.
Um, Another thing that people have to think about is money. No, we don't want to think about, oh, you have to have a lot of money to take care of a pet. No, you don't. But you also have to be smart and think about the rainy days. You never know when one is going to come. You never know if you have a dog that happens to sprain their leg or have allergies. Anything. Training. If you feel that you're unable to train your pet yourself, you might have to pay for somebody to train your pet. So you want to also think about those things. Food. Yes, you can buy any kind of food for your pet, but you also want to think about, okay, if you buy low quality food, what kind of quality of life will your pet have? What kind of skin coat will they have? Their food has things to do with their health as well, digestion. So,
I mean, no, even I'm sorry. Even before I got into dogs, I didn't. I don't know why, but I didn't know girl dogs have girly time. That's something you have to think about. And they be moody. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, but yeah, girl dogs have girly time.
yeah, like the thing when it comes to pets and animals in general, of course, we look at them as our next family member, but we also have to remember there is a line to it, with basically meaning they are family, they are our pets and everything like that. But at the end of the day, they are animals, so you can't personify them. Basically, you can't treat them just like a human, even though a lot of people do. I mean, they do have personalities, and you do see that, but you also have to remember at the end of the day, this is an animal. They have instincts, they have drive for certain things, and you want to make sure you cater to those things.
And that goes back like to lifestyle. If you're a laid back person, do not get a high energetic dog. You want to get a dog that's a couch potato that want to chill and relax when you want to. So
So, kind of getting into the supplies. When before getting a dog, whether it's a puppy, an adult dog, there is a list of things you should get or would want to get prior to having the dog or on the first day of getting the dog. For instance, leash, collar. You want to make sure you have a good leash, a collar.
doggy beds.
Dog bags.
If you want to crate them, you got to pick the right side kennel that they'll be comfortable, not cramped up in.
When it comes food, ID tags, toys, choosing a vet, something simple as bowls, water bowls and food bowls. That's something you actually want to take a little bit of more thought into it. Don't just buy, oh, I can just run to the store and just get them a cheap little plastic little food bowl. That's okay for temporary, but that along the line, you want to, when it comes to food bowls, water bowls, you want to aim more so for metal, stainless steel bowls, ceramic bowls, because a lot of times just plastic holds bacteria. And then you have to remember, just like you wash your plates and dishes every day, you want to wash your pet's bowls every day, especially depending on what kind of food you're feeding them. So if you're feeding them wet food, you might want to wash that bowl out after each meal, just because it get cake up and it gets nasty. Depending on where you feed your pet, if you happen to feed your pet outside for when the weather's nice, you want to pick that bowl up as soon as it's finished, because
Right.
ants, bugs will get into it. And then some people wonder, why does my dog don't want to eat their food? They like this food. Sometimes it could be something as simple as the bowl is nasty and they don't want to eat out of it. Would you eat out of a nasty bowl? I don't think so.
Right.
And then kind of going back to the leashes and collars. You want to make sure you have a leash and collar, pick a good one. Of course, if you have a growing puppy, you're probably going to change them out as the puppy is growing, especially if you start with an itty bitty puppy. I mean, unless you have like a small dog who's not going to grow to that much.
No more than 10, 15 pounds.
For certain tiny dogs, you might want to get a cat collar, because you can't find any really small collars. Cat collars are good because a lot of times they come with bells. So if you have a dog that's tiny and you can't always see them or something, you have a little bell, so that kind of, where they are, so you don't happen to step on them. Some pets don't like too much jingly stuff. You want to think about that. And then when it comes to leashes, get a good leash. I'm not a fan of the chain leashes, the ones that's that chain link.
That like the prompt that dig into your.
No, like the actual leash, which is like a chain.
Oh, I got you.
I'm not a fan of those. One, they're heavy. And then two, if you wrap your hand around that and the dog pulls or something catches their attention, that hurts a whole lot more. Like, and then when you're taking your pet to the vet, sometimes that when it hits the floor, it's loud or bangy. But you can choose whichever leash you do prefer. Just choose a good one. If you have a dog that tends to chew on stuff, you might want to get one that's good and strong. There are different types. We've seen where we worked at a place. They had those leashes that were made from parachute material, which is supposed to be really good so it doesn't get chewed. A dog can't chew through it. There are leashes that glow in the dark. So if you a person that like to take walks at night, you can get a glow in the dark leash. That's for the basics. I mean, when it comes to leash and collar, it's more so like personality style when it comes to colors and stuff. But you just think about quality stuff because dogs are chewers sometimes, depending on which one you get. Some, not all dogs are chewers, but some are.
And I mean, most puppies are. Yeah, they go through the biting stage, which I didn't know until I bought my first puppy. But yeah, they bite for about 3-4 months. Longer than that sometimes. Yeah, you have to actually, you can't let them do what they want to do because then they're going to grow up and do what they want to do. So no, you have to nip it in the bud as young as possible. No, so we can't, we can't give them, you can't give them too much now.
Oh, one more thing. When it comes to bowls, if you have a dog and you notice they are a gobbler, piranha eating type of dog,
Like the one we got.
we do have one that eats very fast. You don't want your dog eating too fast. There are things that can, some of the few things, it causes more gas because they're intaking more air. So if you notice your dog passing gas a lot, it could be because they're gobbling and taking a lot of air in. So that's one of the reasons. Two, they're not getting the nutrition, all of the nutrition they need because they're not even swallowing and they're not even chewing. They're just swallowing it. So it doesn't, their stomach doesn't get a chance to break down everything. So that's another reason. So if you have a good quality food and you're wondering why your pet's still coat not looking funny, think about they're not getting all the nutrients they're needing and whatnot.
Also with,
Slow feed bowls.
oh no, go ahead.
So when you have pets that are gobblers, that are piranhas when they eat, you want to get a slow feed bowl. Sometimes you might not realize until the end. There are some, you might not want to say you have a non-tip bowl. Sometimes you can flip that non-tip bowl over where it has like the
Oh yeah, I got you.
the non-tip bowl. You can put it around in a circle. What we've done is we have a regular stainless steel bowl and we have a Kong ball that we put in the middle of the bowl. So the food has to go around. But there's all different types of neat little slow feed bowls that have different patterns in the middle of it.
Something like mazes. Yeah, so the dog had to take his time to eat. Yeah, one kibble at a time like he's supposed to. So even after feeding, you don't want to immediately give your dog water because it could cause bloating. Small dogs can handle it pretty, better than big dogs, but you don't want to immediately give your dog or have him over there gulping down water after he just ate. So you eat, digest his food, his or her food, then about an hour or two later they can have water. So
We personally, after we feed our pets, mainly the puppy, the old man, he's pretty much, he not gonna move around too much. But for the puppy, when we feed him, after he eats, he stays in his cage.
for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, just to let it digest and do what it needs to do. Because, I mean, if you let them out, they're more than likely going to play and jump up and down. And if you feed your pet and they run laps and get the zoomy, you're probably going to throw all of that food up. And now you're going to have to wait a little bit and then might have to feed them a little bit more because they're going to be hungry faster because they just threw up all their food.
Right.
So that's something to think about.
So guys, we're going to wrap up this episode. I think we definitely got a lot to teach you guys and educate you guys on just your general knowledge of taking care of your pets. Giving them the proper attention, giving them more than just pictures and Instagram. We thank you for joining us.
Wine, whiskey,
and tail wags.